India-US impact to set up semiconductor fabrication plant for national security. It will be India's first and world's first multi-material fabrication (fab) plant for national security. It is also one of the first fabs of its kind within Quad. It is the first time US military has agreed for a technology partnership in highly valued technologies with India. Fab, to be known as Shakti, will focus on three essential pillars for modern war fighting: advanced sensing, advanced communications, and high-voltage power electronics. It will be established with objective of manufacturing infrared, gallium nitride and silicon carbide semiconductors. It will get support from India Semiconductor Mission and set up as strategic technology partnership between Bharat Semi, 3 Raditech, and US Space Force. UN adopts Pact for the Future at the UN Summit for the Future. Pact, along with its annexes Global Digital Compact and a Declaration on Future Generations, is designed to address 21st century challenges, e.g. climate change, conflict, human rights, etc. Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, CDRI, marks its 5th anniversary. On this occasion, CDRI announced a $2.5 million fund under Urban Infrastructure Resilience Program (UIRP) to enhance climate resilience of cities in these low and middle-income countries including India. About CDRI launched at UN Climate Action Summit 2019 by India. CDRI is a global partnership of nations, UN agencies, multilateral development banks, and the private sector. Significance of CDRI funding: provide a global mechanism for financing and coordination of the effective implementation of the aims of the CDRI. Technical support and capacity building: this includes disaster response and recovery support, innovation, etc. Initiatives taken by CDRI Infrastructure for Resilient Island States (IRIS) to promote resilient, sustainable and inclusive infrastructure in small island developing states (SIDS). DRI Connect Platform, Knowledge Exchange, Learning and Collaborative Platform. International Conference on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, ICDRI Annual Conference, bringing together experts, decision makers, etc. to discuss challenges and identify good practices. Infrastructure Resilience Accelerator Fund, IRAF, established with support of UNDP and under to support global action on disaster resilience of infrastructure systems. Quad countries, India, United States, Australia and Japan, launched Cancer Moonshot Initiative. About Cancer Moonshot Initiative: to strengthen overall cancer care ecosystem in Indo-Pacific by improving health infrastructure, research collaborations, etc. Ministry of Defence has approved expansion plan for NCC cadet vacancies by 10 lakh, raising the total strength from 17 lakhs to 20 lakhs in coming years. About NCC HQ, New Delhi, established under the National Cadet Corps Act 1948 feet. Aims at developing character, comradeship, discipline, secular outlook, the spirit of adventure and ideals of selfless service amongst young citizens. Nature of NCC program is voluntary. Motto: Unity and Discipline. Ministry of Defence. Conduct of NCC activities is a joint responsibility of central and state governments in terms of policies, finances, administrative, and other aspects. Computer Security Incident Response Team, Power, CSIRT Power Facility. Union Minister of Power has inaugurated CSIRT Power Facility in New Delhi. About CSIRT power facility, it was initiated by Ministry of Power following the National Cyber Security Policy and in collaboration with certain cold mix asphalt, CMA. Unlike hot mix asphalt, CMA is produced without need for heating aggregates or asphalt binder. It produces lower emissions, is energy efficient. Supreme Court ruled that 14-day timeline for granting sanction for prosecution under UAPA 1967 is mandatory and not discretionary. Prosecution of individuals accused of terrorism requires prior sanction from government via two steps, i.e., an independent authority must review evidence gathered by investigators and make a recommendation to government within 7 working days. Rule 3 of Unlawful Activities, Prevention, Recommendation Sanction of Prosecution, Rules 2008. Government then has an additional 7 working days to decide whether to grant or deny sanction based on authorities' recommendation. Rule 4. National Green Tribunal stayed construction of road inside Barak Bhuban Wildlife Sanctuary. Barak Bhuban Wildlife Sanctuary location, spread between Barak and Sonai rivers in Assam's Kasha district. Named after second largest river in northeast, Barak. Barak Valley also houses Borel Wildlife Sanctuary. It was notified in 2022 by Assam government. Fauna: 8 recorded species of primates, namely slow lories, rhesus, pig-tailed, stump-tailed, Assamese macaque, capped langur, hoolock gibbon, etc. Provides suitable habitat for king cobra. Origins of Quad. The Quad originated in response to the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, where the 4 nations provided humanitarian assistance. Open Radio Access Network, RAN, and 5G. In 2023, the Quad initiated its first Open RAN deployment in Palau, aiming to build a secure telecommunications ecosystem with an investment of approximately $20 million. AI Engage Initiative 2023. Through the Advancing Innovations for Empowering Next General Agriculture, AI Engage, Quad governments are deepening leading-edge collaborative research to harness artificial intelligence and robotics to empower next-generation agriculture. Quantum Technology. The Quad Investors Network, QUIN, a non-profit initiative, highlighted ways in which Quad countries' quantum ecosystems can work together to collectively leverage capital and expertise. BioExplore Initiative. It aims to utilize AI in studying biological ecosystems to innovate in disease diagnosis, crop resilience, and clean energy solutions. Quad Clean Energy Supply Chain Diversification Program 2023. It aims to support the development of secure and diversified clean energy supply chains in the Indo-Pacific region. Quad partners intend to share expertise and experience in space situational awareness, SSA, contributing to long-term sustainability of the space environment. The Quad Counter-Terrorism Working Group, CTWG, currently focuses on countering the use of unmanned aerial systems, CUAS, chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear devices, CBRN, and the Internet for terrorist purposes. The Supreme Court, SC, has urged the Union government to replace the term child pornography with child sexual exploitative and abuse material, CM. Expansion of Section 15 of the POCSO Act, 2012. The SC provided a stricter interpretation of the term storage of child pornography under Section 15 of the POCSO Act, 2012. Previously, this provision primarily addressed storage for commercial purposes. The court's interpretation of Section 15 introduces 3 key offenses. Possession without reporting. A person who stores or possesses child pornography must delete, destroy, or report it to the designated authority. Failure to do so can be punishable under Section 15(1). Intent to transmit or distribute. Individuals who possess child pornography intending to transmit or display it in any manner, except for the purpose of reporting, can face charges under Section 15(2). Commercial possession. Storing child pornography for commercial purposes falls under Section 15(3), which outlines the most severe penalties. Concept of inchoate offences. The ruling classifies the offences under Section 15 as inchoate offences, meaning they are preparatory actions taken toward committing further crimes. Delhi tops the list for the maximum uploads of child porn, followed by Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. Recently, the Gingi Fort in Tamil Nadu's Villupuram district has been nominated for UNESCO's World Heritage Site list as part of the Maratha Military Landscapes proposal, which includes 11 other forts. What are the key facts regarding Gingi Fort of Tamil Nadu? Geographical feature and significance. Gingi Fort is renowned for its historical importance and strategic location atop three hillocks, Rajgiri, Krishnagiri, and Chandragiri. It is also known as the Troy of the East, as it is one of the most impregnable fortresses in peninsular India. Its strategic location and robust defenses, including a 60-foot wide rampart and an 80-foot wide moat, made it vital during the Carnatic Wars between the French and British. Historical overview. The fort was originally built by Ananta Kon of the Konar dynasty in 1200 CE and named it Krishnagiri. Vijayanagar Empire undertook significant renovations of the fort. In 1677, the fort was captured by Chhatrapati Shivaji and remained under Maratha control until 1698, when it fell to the Mughals. The fort became the last stronghold for the Marathas, Rajaram I, son of Shivaji, during their resistance against the Mughal forces. Briefly ruled by Raja Desingh, Tej Singh, it was taken over by the Nawabs of Arcot in 1714 and remained under their dominion until 1749. From 1750 to 1770, the French held the fort before it eventually passed into Britishers. Architectural features. The fort complex houses several temples and shrines. It includes significant structures such as a stepped well, Kalyana Mahal, Darbar Hall, cannon, clock tower, armory, elephant tank, stable, granary, gymnasium, Venkatramana temple, and Sadatullah Mosque. Water supply systems. Gingi Fort features two sophisticated water supply systems, ensuring a continuous water supply even at the highest points of the fort. Rajgiri Hill. It is the tallest hill at 800 meters, featuring a citadel and the temple of Rangnatha. Krishnagiri Citadel is notable for its Indo-Islamic architecture, including an audience hall with a domed roof. Venkatramana Swami Temple. It is located in the lower fort complex and adorned with intricate carvings from Hindu epics. Kalyana Mahal. It is an architectural jewel with 8 stories, used as the royal ladies' quarters. Recently, the National Green Tribunal, NGT, ordered classifying Nainital town into prohibited, regulated, and development zones. This zoning aims to limit the environmental impact of unchecked urbanization and manage development responsibly. The International Day of Sign Languages, IDSL, is celebrated annually on 23 September, established by the 2017 UN General Assembly resolution. The resolution emphasizes that access to sign language and quality education is crucial for the development of deaf individuals and the preservation of linguistic and cultural diversity. Theme for 2024. The theme is Sign Up for Sign Language Rights, encouraging collective advocacy for sign language rights. The date marks the establishment of the World Federation of the Deaf, WFD, in 1951, which advocates for the rights and recognition of deaf individuals globally. The Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities was adopted by the UN in 2006, recognizes sign languages as equal to spoken languages and obligates states to promote the linguistic identity of the deaf community. India was one of the first countries to ratify the convention in 2007. In India, the Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center, ISLRTC, an autonomous body under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, celebrates the IDSA. A recent study reveals that travel enhances mental and physical health, potentially slowing the aging process. It maintains a low entropy state, boosts immunity, reduces stress, promotes physical activity, and enhances overall wellness and resilience. Engaging in travel keeps the body in a low entropy state, indicating healthy and efficient bodily functions. Entropy is a measure of disorder in the system, correlates with aging and health decline. Increased entropy leads to deteriorating biological systems, contributing to diseases. Using the Green Bank Telescope, GBT, astronomers detected a new millisecond pulsar associated with a recently observed globular cluster known as Tarzan-Che. Pulsars are rapidly rotating neutron stars that blast out pulses of radiation at regular intervals ranging from seconds to milliseconds. Pulsars have very strong magnetic fields, which funnel jets of particles out along the two magnetic poles. These accelerated particles produce very powerful beams of light. Often, the magnetic field is not aligned with the spin axis, so those beams of particles and light are swept around as the star rotates. The periodicity of pulsars is caused by these beams of light crossing the line of sight on Earth, with the pulsar appearing to switch off at points when the light is facing away from us. The time between these pulses is the period of the pulsar. Pulsars have been primarily observed at radio wavelengths. Pulsar masses range between 1.18 and 1.97 times that of the Sun, but most pulsars have a mass 1.35 times that of the Sun. What is a neutron star? Neutron stars are highly dense remnants of massive stars that have collapsed, composed mainly of neutrons and other elementary particles. Neutron stars are formed when a massive star runs out of fuel and collapses. The very central region of the star, the core, collapses, crushing together every proton and electron into a neutron. If the core of the collapsing star is between about 1 and 3 solar masses, these newly created neutrons can stop the collapse, leaving behind a neutron star. What is the Green Bank Telescope, GBT? With a 110 meters of axis paraboloid dish, the GBT is the largest fully steerable radio telescope on Earth. It is located at Green Bank Observatory in the National Radio Quiet Zone in Green Bank, West Virginia, US. What is a neutron? Neutrons, along with protons, are subatomic particles found inside the nucleus of every atom. The only exception is hydrogen, where the nucleus contains only a single proton. Neutrons have a neutral electric charge, neither negative nor positive, and have slightly more mass than positively charged protons. Free neutrons are those no longer confined inside a nucleus. These free neutrons are produced by fission and fusion processes. Epigenetics plays a critical role in human health by regulating gene expression without the direct modification of DNA sequence. About epigenetics, epigenetics is the study of how cells control gene activity without changing the DNA sequence. Epi means on or above in Greek, and epigenetic describes factors beyond the genetic code. Epigenetic changes are modifications to DNA that regulate whether genes are turned on or off. These epigenetic modifications are attached to DNA and do not change the sequence of DNA building blocks. Within the complete set of DNA in a cell, the genome, all of the modifications that regulate the activity, expression of the genes is known as the epigenome. Because epigenetic changes help determine whether genes are turned on or off, they influence the production of proteins in cells. This regulation helps ensure that each cell produces only proteins that are necessary for its function. For example, proteins that promote bone growth are not produced in muscle cells. Patterns of epigenetic modification vary among individuals, in different tissues within an individual, and even in different cells within a tissue. Environmental influences, such as a person's diet and exposure to pollutants, can impact the epigenome. Epigenetic modifications can be maintained from cell to cell as cells divide and, in some cases, can be inherited through the generations. Errors in the epigenetic process, such as modification of the wrong gene or failure to add a chemical group to a particular gene or histone, can lead to abnormal gene activity or inactivity. Altered gene activity, including that caused by epigenetic errors, is a common cause of genetic disorders. Conditions such as cancers, metabolic disorders, and degenerative disorders have been found to be related to epigenetic errors. Recently, the Union Ministry of Commerce and Industry has approved a Spices Board scheme, Sustainability in Spice Sector through Progressive, Innovative and Collaborative Interventions for Export Development (SPICED) scheme. It is aimed at significantly enhancing the export of spices and value-added spice products as well as improving the productivity of cardamoms and upgrading the post-harvest quality of spices across India for export. It is implemented during the remaining term of the 15th Finance Commission up to 2025-26. Key highlights of the scheme: it is expected to facilitate value addition and to drive innovation and sustainability in the spice sector by introducing new subcomponents programs like the Mission Value Addition, Mission Clean and Safe Spices, promotion of GI spices, support for entrepreneurship through spice incubation centers, etc. Recently, the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission (NCDRC) declined to give State Bank of India (SBI) more time to make submissions on its plea seeking transfer outside Tamil Nadu of a consumer complaint filed against it by Madras HC Judge. It is a quasi-judicial commission set up in 1988 under the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Mandate to inexpensive, inexpensive, speedy, and summary redressal of consumer disputes. It is headed by a sitting or a retired judge of the SC or a sitting or a retired Chief Justice of a High Court. A diesel fuel spill from a ship that sunk recently spreads to the Greenland fjord. A fjord is a long, deep, narrow body of water that reaches far inland. Fjords are often set in a U-shaped valley with steep walls of rock on either side. Fjords are found mainly in Norway, Chile, New Zealand, Canada, Greenland, and the US state of Alaska. How are fjords formed? Fjords have been shaped throughout the span of several ice ages by slow-moving glaciers. As the glacier moved, it cut away at the top layers of ice and into the sediment below. Melting waters also carved a way into the land, meaning that many fjords are actually deeper than the sea that feeds into it. Where the fjord meets the sea, also known as the mouth, many glaciers left behind shill or shoal rock deposits. Because the mouth is a shallower opening than the body of the fjord, it results in extremely fast-moving water. This includes strong currents and saltwater rapids. Fjords commonly are deeper in their middle and upper reaches than at the seaward end. This results from the greater erosive power of the glaciers closer to their source, where they are moving most actively and vigorously. Because of the comparatively shallow thresholds of fjords, the bottoms of many have stagnant water and are rich in black mud containing hydrogen sulfide. Some features of fjords include coral reefs and rocky islands called skerries. Epishelf lakes. Another feature of some fjords is the presence of epishelf lakes. These lakes occur when melted fresh water becomes trapped under a floating ice shelf. This fresh water does not mix with the salt water below, but rather floats on top of it. The Navega-Onagzira Tiger Reserve in NTR lost its dominant male tiger, Tino. Recently, location it spans 653.67 sq km across the Gondia and Bhandara districts of Maharashtra. It is located in the heart of the central Indian tiger landscape, which contributes almost 1/6 of the total tiger population of the country. Cambodia has launched 1.7 BN Funanteko Canal Mega Connectivity Project. The Reserve Bank had introduced Scale-Based Regulation (SBR) for NBFCs in response to their increasing systemic importance. What is scale-based regulation of NBFCs? The scale-based regulation is based on the principle of proportionality and narrows the regulatory arbitrage between banks and large NBFCs while allowing for operational flexibility. Under this regulation, NBFCs are segregated into 4 layers based on their size, activity, and perceived level of riskiness. I. Base layer, NBFCBL. 2. Middle layer, NBFCML. 3. Upper layer, NBFCUL. And 4. Top layer, NBFCTL. Regulatory changes under the SBR framework. Increase in Net Owned Fund, NOF, requirement. The RBI has increased the minimum net owned fund (NOF) requirement for NBFC-ICC from 2 Rupee crores to 10 Rupee crores. For NBFC-MFI and NBFC factor, the NOF requirement has been increased from 5 Rupee crores to 10 Rupee crores. A now-judge Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court in the Mineral Area Development Authority (MADA) versus SAIL declared that royalty imposed on mining is not a tax. Thus, the court overruled its own 7-judge bench judgment in the India Cements versus State of Tamil Nadu Judgment 1989, which ruled that royalty are a tax. Entry 54 of Union List, Regulation of Mines and Mineral Development to the extent to which such regulation and development under the control of the Union is declared by Parliament by law to be expedient in the public interest. Entry 23 of State List, regulation of mines and mineral development subject to the provisions of Union List with respect to regulation and development under the control of the Union. Entry 50 of State List, taxes on mineral rights subject to any limitations imposed by Parliament by law relating to mineral development. Statutes relating to taxation of minerals, MMRD Act. Parliament enacted the Mines Minerals Development Regulation Act 1957 MMDR Act under the Entry 51 of the Union List of 7th Schedule. MMDR Act is a comprehensive code for regulation of mines and development of minerals. MMDR Act provides that holder of a mining lease shall pay royalty in respect of any mineral removed or consumed from the leased area at the specified rates. Dispute over the nature of royalty. There has been a dispute over the nature of royalty, i.e., whether it is a tax or not. A 7-judgment Constitution Bench of Supreme Court in the India Cements vs. State of Tamil Nadu 1989 ruled that royalty imposed on mining are a tax in nature. However, a 5-judge Constitution Bench in State of West Bengal vs. Kesoram Industries ruled that royalty is not a tax. However, since India Cements' judgment was given by a larger 9-judge bench, it continued to hold. Nature of a tax. Tax is a compulsory exaction of money by a public authority. Tax is imposed under statutory power without consent of taxpayer. Tax demand is enforceable by law. Tax is an imposition made for public purpose to meet general expenses of the state without reference to any special benefit to be conferred on the payer of the tax. Tax is a part of common burden. Salient observation in Mada judgment: royalty is not a tax but a contractual consideration paid by the mining lessee for enjoyment of mineral rights. Legislative power to tax mineral rights vests with the state legislatures. Parliament does not have legislative competence to tax mineral rights under Entry 54 of Union List, since this is a general entry. Power to tax mineral rights is expressly enumerated in Entry 50 of State List, therefore, Parliament cannot use its residuary powers in this matter. Entry of 50 of State List envisages that Parliament can impose any limitations on mineral taxation by states. However, the MMDR Act has not imposed any limitations. Cholyattu is an informal collective of young Kudiyattam artists in Kerala, launched during the COVID-19 pandemic. This platform aims to bring together artists from various schools of Kudiyattam to collaborate, preserve the art form, and learn the nuances of different styles. Preserving different Kudiyattam traditions, Cholyattu plays a critical role in preserving various styles of Kudiyattam, which include the Kalmandalam or Pankulam style, Ammannur style, and Mani Gurukulam style. By creating a space for intergenerational knowledge transfer, Cholyattu ensures that these styles are kept alive and continuously practiced. Nuances of Kudiyattam. Kudiyattam is known for its complexity, with intricate sign languages, acting styles, and specific techniques that vary between traditions. While the costumes across different styles may appear similar, there are slight differences in gestures and performances, which can be challenging for audiences unfamiliar with the arts. Technical vocabulary. Expanding Kudiyattam beyond temple premises. Historically, Kudiyattam performances were confined to temple premises in Kerala, limiting its audience and outreach. However, Cholyattu aims to bring this ancient Sanskrit theatre tradition to a broader audience by encouraging participation from artists of diverse social backgrounds. The collective not only promotes collaboration among artists but also strives to make the art more accessible to younger generations, ensuring its continuity and evolution. Kudiyattam, a theatre tradition practiced for over 2000 years in Kerala, gained international recognition when UNESCO proclaimed it a masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage of humanity in 2001. It was later inscribed on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity in 2008. Kudiyattom derived from the Malayalam word Kudiyattam, meaning combined act, is a unique fusion of ancient Sanskrit theatre with elements of Kuttu, an ancient performing art from the Sangam era. Kuttu, also known as Therukuthu, is a traditional folk art from Tamil Nadu where artists combine music, dance, and storytelling to narrate epic tales. The performances are conducted in Tamil, and this art form dates back to the early Tamil country. Kuttu reached its zenith centuries ago, with mentions in Sangam literature, which also documents the development of Tamil literature, ayal, music, isai, and drama, natagam. Kuttu performances usually draw from scenes in ancient epics like the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Tamil classical epics. Notably, there is no spoken dialogue in the performances, only songs are used to convey the narrative. History: Kudiyattom, traditionally performed in temple theatres known as Kuthambalams, is the only surviving art form that incorporates drama from ancient Sanskrit theatre. The art form evolved from Kuttu, which has been mentioned in Sangam literature and temple inscriptions of the Pallava, Pandya, Chera, and Chola periods. These performances, considered integral to worship, were conducted alongside devotional singing of hymns like Tevaram and Prabandham. Notably, kings of the ancient period, including a Pallava king named Rajasimha, contributed by authoring works like Kalesodhranam that were performed as part of these sacred services. Reformation by Kulsekhara Varma. Kulsekhara Varma, a medieval king from the Chera Perumal dynasty, is credited with reforming Kudiyattom. He introduced the local language for the Viduska role and restructured the presentation into well-defined units. He also authored two plays, Subhadra Dhananjayam and Thapatisam Varna, which are still performed today. Other classical plays traditionally performed in Kudiyattom include Kalina Sogandhika by Neelkantha, Nagananda by Harsha, and several plays by Bhasha, such as Abhiseka and Pratima. Instruments and performance traditions. Traditionally, the main musical instruments used in Kudiyattam are the Mijvu, Kujhitalam, Edakka, Kurumkuzhal, and Sankhu. The Mijvu, the most prominent of these, is a percussion instrument that is played by a person of the Ambalwas Nambiar caste, accompanied by Nangyaramma playing the Kujhithalam, a type of cymbal. Percussion instruments are musical instruments that produce sound by being struck, shaken, or scraped. Examples: drums, cymbals, etc. Traditionally, Kudiyattam has been performed by Chakyars, a subcaste of Kerala Hindus, and by Nangyaramma, women of the Ambalwasi Nambiar caste. The main actor is a Chakyar who performs the ritualistic Kuttu and Kudiyattam inside the temple or in the Kuthambalam. Chakyar women, Ilotammas, are not allowed to participate. Instead, the female roles are played by Nangyaramma. Kudiyattom performances are divided into three main parts. Purappadu, the actor performs a verse with the Nritta aspect of dance. Nirvahanam, through Abhinay, expressive gestures, the actor depicts the emotions and character of the play's protagonist. Kudiyattom, the final part, where the actual play begins, involving multiple actors performing in rhythm with the beats of the Mijvu drummers. Modern revival in 1962 under the guidance of art and Sanskrit scholar V. Raghavan, Guru Mani Madhva Chakyar performed Kudiyattom outside Kerala for the first time at Sanskrit Ranga in Chennai. This marked a significant moment in the evolution of the art form as it expanded beyond its traditional boundaries. Decline historically, Kudiyattom was an exclusive art form performed within Hindu temples and restricted to caste Hindus. The art form, often requiring 40 days to complete a performance, faced a significant decline with the collapse of the feudal order in Kerala during the 19th century, leading to a loss of patronage and financial difficulties for artists. Despite a revival in the early 20th century, Kudiyattom once again struggles due to a lack of funding and institutional support. A recent study published in Earth and Planetary Science Letters suggests that Earth may have once had rings similar to those of Saturn. Scientists from Monash University, Australia analyzed 21 crater sites on Earth from the Ordovician period, 488 to 443 million years ago, and found that all impacts occurred near the equator, which is unusual since asteroid impacts usually occur at random latitudes. This suggests the presence of a ring over Earth's equator during that period. This ring would have formed around 466 million years ago when an asteroid passing too close to Earth broke apart due to its gravity and created a debris-laden ring around the equator. Over time, the debris from the ring fell to Earth, with larger pieces forming craters near the equator. The ring over Earth's equator would have had a profound impact on the Earth's climate. The axial tilt of Earth relative to the Sun would mean that the rings would have shaded the winter hemispheres and increased solar flux to the summer hemispheres, potentially contributing to global cooling. Notably, Earth experienced significant cooling around 460 to 445 million years ago, coinciding with the peak of the Hernantian Ice Age. However, further research and modeling are needed to confirm the connection. Roche limit. The Roche limit is the closest distance at which a satellite can approach its primary body, e.g., a planet, without being torn apart by the tidal forces exerted by the larger body. In a two-body system, such as a planet and its satellite, two key forces act on the smaller body: internal gravity of the satellite. This is the cohesive force that holds the satellite together, resisting external forces. Tidal force from the larger body. This is the gravitational pull of the larger body, planet, which stretches the satellite and tries to pull it apart, especially along the line of gravitational force between the two. When a satellite orbits beyond the Roche limit, its internal gravity is strong enough to resist the tidal forces, allowing it to maintain its structural integrity and orbit stably around the planet, e.g., our Moon. In the case of Earth, our Moon is safely located far beyond the Roche limit, which is why it remains intact and orbits without disintegrating. However, if the satellite crosses within the Roche limit, the tidal forces of the planet become stronger than the satellite's own gravity, causing it to disintegrate. The resulting debris from this disintegration forms a ring around the planet, much like the rings we see around Saturn and other gas giants. Robotic mule. The army has procured and inducted 100 robotic mules in forward areas under the 4th Tranche of Emergency Procurements, EP, recently. Design A. Robotic mule, also known as a multi-utility legged equipment mule, is a dog shaped robot that can be used for surveillance and transporting light loads across difficult terrain. The robotic mule can climb stairs, steep hills and other hurdles. Peak Pods DTECH 360 Innovations announced the field launch of its Peak Pods. Peak Pods is a high-altitude habitat tent designed for sub-zero temperature regions. Temperature Peak Pods operated using cutting-edge technology to achieve 15 degrees C inside the shelter in sub-zero temperatures, even when the outside temperature is touching -40 degrees C. Fuel, no fuel or electricity needed. Biotoilets, it has an inbuilt biotoilet feature. The Peak Pod can be rapidly deployed as it can be dismantled into 30 kilograms blocks. It is ideal for high-altitude military bases, research stations, adventure tourism destinations, fast-track hospitals, disaster relief camps among others. Antimicrobial Resistance Surveillance Network, AMRSN. The report published by the ICMR's Antimicrobial Resistance Surveillance Network, AMRSN, shows that UTIs, bloodstream infections, typhoid and pneumonia show resistance to commonly used antibiotics. The Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, initiated the Antimicrobial Resistance Surveillance Research Network, AMRSN, in 2013 to collate nationally representative data.